Well, good morning, everyone. This is Gary Lewis coming to you live from the Philippines. You know, I'm often asked sometimes, where do you get your storylines from? How do you come up with so many different storylines? Well, the only way I can explain it is they just come to me, and just out of the blue. And when I get myself settled down and ready to write a book, first thing I want to do is I want to think of the title. Then I want to think of the storyline and the plot. Then I want to make some fantastic characters that are going to grab you and keep your attention and that you're going to fall in love with to carry the series on through. Especially in my series of the Devil's Curse and Beast Within Journey. It was 11 part story and 11 different books. And I combined them all into one volume. But it started out way back when I first started writing back in 2010, and it carried on. That series carried on till 2012, and then at that time it kind of cut off, and then I got out of writing for a while, and then once I came to the Philippines, I got the urge to write again. I got the writing fever, and I started back in again. And the first thing I wanted to do was go into my old manuscripts, my older books, my first books, and revamp them. Give them a facelift, check the editing, the grammar, the spelling, and any way I could kind of tweak the stories to make them more believable, interesting, likable. I did that. And then I republished these books, my older books, gave them new book covers. Some I kind of adjusted the titles on a little bit. And as an example, by doing that, one of my books, Hidden Springs Blood Moon Rising, which had received a very low rating review, once I had revamped it, checked the grammar and spelling and redone it, and gave it a makeover and reworked it, now it's got 5 stars on Amazon. I changed the name to Bad Moon Rising or something like that. But anyway, it went from having a 1-2-star review to a 5-star review now. And that just goes to show you how much your grammar and spelling and editing is so important when writing books. Back then when I first started out, of course I was excited about writing a book, and I wanted to, right off the bat, I wanted to hurry up and get it out there and get it published, so I could have my name out there on Amazon, you know. Well, that was a mistake. So anyway, I went back in when I first started writing here in the Philippines and revamped a lot of my older books and got their ratings up. Their reviews are much better now. The Rileyville Mystery, I revamped it. I did my Devil's Curse book, Wolfstrap book. I redid it and revamped all of them. Gave them facelifts and editing, grammating, and going over them with spell check, grammar, and using Word 2013. And then I went on to start writing some of my newer books, my new books. And since at that time I loved the Devil's Wolfstrap so much, and there was 3 books to that series already, Devil's Curse of the Devil's Wolfstrap, the final then I had another Return to Wolfstrap, or whatever it was, Devil Wolf Returns, and then the Final Confrontation. And so I had those 3 books already written and revamped, pretty much redid all those, got them back out there on PDF, got them published on Amazon, uploaded on Amazon KDP. Well, then I went on and started into that series again and carried it on from there with The Beast Within being the first one, The Beast Within. And then I carried it on and just used that, it kept that title, The Beast Within, and then just went on and on and on from there until I ended up with 11 books, 11 parts of the series. And then I decided to put them all into one big volume. The thing I loved about it most was the characters. They carry over. And some of your lesser characters, of course, die off in the series from accidents, tragic accidents, or through battles with the Lycans. and whatnot. But the thing about those characters are they carry over, and you fall in love with them, and they just come alive, basically. And as you sit there reading about them, you can visualize them in your mind's eye, their trials, their struggles, much like our lives, what they're going through at the time, and their friends and family. And that's why I love that book so much, The Journey, because I put a lot of love and time into that one, and the characters. The characters carried over from the very first book, and then more characters came in, new characters along the way, and I just fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the storyline, and it all took part. Started out in Missouri, but then it all moved down to New Orleans and the Bayou and the French Quarter, Bourbon Street, and from there it just stayed in New Orleans and continued on with that series. All 11 parts of that series was all but the first 2 parts, I think. All but the first 2 parts of that series took place down in New Orleans. The first part took place in Springfield, Missouri, I believe it was, and then it moved to New Orleans, and went on from there. And it was a joy writing it. And like I said, I just fell in love with the characters, and so by falling in love with the characters the way I did, and the storyline, it just kept on rolling. It kept on going, and the ideas kept flowing into me, and I just kept on writing and kept on putting out more books. Finally, when I got the 11th book written, I decided to put them all together in one big volume. Now the Kindle's still just $2.99 download, but the paperback and hardbacks are a little more pricey because they were, I think I formatted them at 8.5 by 11 coffee table size books. And but with the Journey, I almost needed to, because I had a lot of photos inserted inside, and I wanted them to come out nice, and I wanted the book to be comfortable to hold while you're reading it. And I used 14 fonts for more easy reading, larger font size. And so anyway, that's where that came from. But yeah, when it comes down to writing books, I at first, like I said, I get the title in my mind, what I'm going to call the book, what the book's going to be called, and then from there comes the idea of the storyline and the plot. And then after I get all that in my mind, I make some notes and jot down some things about how this is going to start out and what's going to happen, what's the meat and potatoes of the book. And then I work on the conclusion later as I start writing the book. As I'm writing my book, I'm already thinking about how it's going to come to an end and have a good ending for it. So yeah, they just come, the ideas just come to me, the characters come to me. The ideas flow to me about the storyline, what it should be about, what it's going to be about, and I just go from there. And I got to tell you, as a fiction author and a non-fiction author, but mostly as a fiction author, because fiction is basically you're using your it's your complete imagination. Everything you write, everything you're doing, all your characters all come from your imagination, and it's all make-believe. And so basically there's no holds barred. You can just, there's no limitations to where your imagination can take you on your storylines, and that's exciting. And so anyway, as a fiction author, I'm happy to say it's become a really just a great hobby for me. I ain't making millions off of it like Stephen King, of course. I'm no Stephen King or any of these other romance writers or stuff like that, but I make some nickels and dimes along the way. But the main reason I got into writing was because of the love I had for it. It was you could sit at your computer, you could bring up your formatting and your paper size and get your fonts down and your New Times Roman, and you could start in. And it was an enjoyable, relaxing hobby I started when I started my writing, because at the time I started my writing, things were pretty stressful. I was working 7 days a week. Sometimes I was working full time at the hospital, and then on my weekends off, I was working at a grocery store there where I lived in Waverly, Illinois. And so, yeah, 7 days a week I was working, and then what little time off I had at night, I was at my computer and I was writing. And so anyway, that's how it all began for me. And it was just a relaxing, therapeutic hobby I had. And while I was writing my books, they took me away to other places and times. Took me away from the troubles of the world, the news media, and all the bad news going on across the globe and stuff. It helped me escape all that and brought my stress levels way down, improved my blood pressure, improved my blood sugar, and I came to the Philippines. It was much more improved after that because I got into my writing even more, and I can't even count the books I've written since I've been here in the Philippines, but most of my books I've written here in the Philippines. They've all come from here, from my front porch. Because honestly, I didn't start writing again until I moved to Lysandra. When I moved to Lysandra, I got me a PC gifted to me from my brother-in-law, and I started using it for my writing and started writing books. And when I moved here to Lysandra, just like I said, for a hobby, for something to do to pass the time in the evenings and during the daylight hours sometimes when we weren't going places or doing things. And that's where it began. So yeah, my writing started off, my writing was born in Waverly, Illinois back in 2010, 2011. But it was reborn here in the Philippines, in Lysandra, in Ibo and Pavia. That's where my writing was reborn again and took off from there. And that's where I am today. Like right now, I'm writing another fiction right now. I'm in the middle of one called Jonah Returns in Bad Moon Rising. Yeah. Bad Moon Rising, and then They're Here is the subtitle. So I'm writing that now. I think I got 25 pages down already on it, and I'm going to get back into it. No, I almost got 30 pages on it now, because I kept writing last night on it. So I'm going to get back on it today again. We had a nice surprise yesterday. Oh, excuse me. Just got up and having my morning coffee. But we had a nice surprise yesterday. We had a nice rain come in and clouds, and the sun went under the clouds, and the temperatures dropped from 33 Celsius down to 25, 26 Celsius. Nice breezes. So it was perfect out on the porch for me writing. I had my laptop out here, and I was loving it. And Laura Tess was out here on her couch on the porch. She likes to lay over there on the couch and rest on the couch and play with the kitties and play her phone games. She has a lot of phone games she plays. She has her Mobile Legends, of course, and then her card games, her poker games and stuff she plays while I sit here writing. And we just enjoy the porch. We enjoy being out here when it's cool. And of course we still have our circular fan going too, and my little table fans to even make it even more enjoyable, because it brings the outside air in even more when a nice breeze is outside. And we got our sunscreens up, our little curtains on our bars, so to keep the sun from coming in so bright on us. And then in the evening time, it's just really enjoyable out here. So I guess I'd have to say the nighttime is my favorite time. I love the night, and it's my favorite time. Daytime's okay, but nighttime's my favorite. I'm nocturnal. I'll have to say I'm nocturnal, because I love the night. I love the dark. When I'm at nighttime, when it's cool out, it's quiet and peaceful, man, I can sit down at this laptop of mine, I can just write and write and write. And I just go to town, so. Well, I'm going to get off here now, because I got about a 14-minute video here. I don't even know if they'll let me put it on Facebook or not. If they don't, I'll try to put it on YouTube and then move it to Facebook. But anyway, well, This is Gary coming to you live from the Philippines. Just want to get on here and hop on, talk a little about being a fiction author and how I got started and why I do it. And so till next time, take care everybody. Peace and love. Blessed be. This is Gary signing off.